Hola, ¿qué tal amigos? Buenos días, buenas tardes y buenas noches. No importa la hora que sea, siempre es un gran momento para aprender español. We move on to a new type of lesson. It's called Verbolandia, Verbland, right? There's Disneyland, Disneylandia. There is Legoland in Carlsbad, California, Legolandia. Well, this is what we call Verbolandia. Imagine, if you will, you're going to an amusement park and it's called Verbolandia. You walk in and it's very colorful, like the truffula trees in the Lorax by Dr. Seuss. You have all these 10 different types of beautiful trees in the park. And each tree is representative of one of our piano keys, 0 through 9. And every verb that is in the park, you have to identify it and put it in the proper piano key, whether it's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Pretend it's like a scavenger hunt. And every verb that you see scattered throughout the park has to go in the proper truffula tree. So you get some infinitives, right? And you gather them, and then you go over to the infinitive tree, which is 0. The truffula tree is 0, and you put them there. Then you find some past participles, gather them, and you put them in truffula tree number 2 because they're past participles. It's just an amusement park. It's just a vision I'm trying to paint so that you can see that verbs are beautiful, just like those truffula trees in the Dr. Seuss books, right? Okay, so anytime you hear any verb in the Spanish language, we've said this a million times and we'll say it many, many more times. All verbs that you hear will either be from 0 to 9, no matter what the verb is, what the setting is. Now, I also want to point out to you that what we have on the board here, the big board, is really powerful today. We're using comer as an example verb. We want to take it through all its paces. It's called like a verb synopsis. We want to show it in all the different 10 things that you can do to it, all the 10 piano keys. Remember, Spanish verbs belong to the Spanish piano. The piano only has 10 keys. The first key is the infinitive. 0 key is the infinitive. Number 1 key is the ing. Number 2 key is the past participle. 3 is the present. 4 is the preterite. 5 is imperfect. 6 is future. 7 is conditional. 8 is present subjunctive. And 9 is past subjunctive. We want you to be able to take any verb in the Spanish language, and our objective, our goal, our hope is that you can take it through its paces. Take it from 0 to 9 as quickly as you can and as correctly as you can. Yes, there will be some verbs that are more difficult than others, and we're going to take a look at those. We're going to take a look at all the stem changing and so on and so forth. We're not going to do every verb, but we're going to take care of the important verbs, the ones that we need to know, especially the irregulars, like in the preterite, right? Those are very important. You're going to find out that the irregulars in the preterite show up with irregular commands. They show up with irregular past participles. They show up as go verbs, and all sorts of things like that happen to those verbs. So we're going to focus on those key verbs that are highly communicative. We use them every day, and we'll take a look at them. Today we start off with a very simple regular verb. There are no stem changes, no irregulars, no Y, no J, no E to I, no E to IE, no O to UE, right? No U to UE, none of that. No accented I, no accented U. It's just a straight, basic, common verb. So let's take a look and see what we have. Comer is the infinitive. Remember, if we were invaded by aliens, and some people might think that we have been, right? You know, people have these theories. Well, the mothership from which all the alien ships come out of when they come visit our planet, that mothership, that's the infinitive, right? Comer, that is the queen bee. The infinitive is the source of all the verb conjugations. Everything that happens to a verb, it starts off with the infinitive. All right? So we have comer. The ing for er and ir verbs has an yendo. Comiendo is eating. Most of the time, number 1, the comiendo is paired up with a form of the verb estar. That's why we have estar here in all 10 forms of the verb. Estar, the forms of estar, and comiendo pair up. Comido, number 2, that's the past participle, the ed form. Eaten is not ed, but it's the ed form. Eaten, comido. Now, the comido, past participle number 2, pairs up with the forms of haber. The forms of haber are used with a 2. The forms of estar are used with a 1. Okay? Now, let's come down here. 3 through 9 are conjugated verbs, are 7 verb tenses, right? The blue ones right here are the 5 indicative, non-subjunctive, and the 2 in red are the 2 subjunctive tenses. Well, these are used by themselves. You don't need an estar or an haber form in front of them. So como is I eat, comí, I ate, comía imperfect, I used to eat a lot, I would eat a lot, I was eating. Comeré, I will eat, comería, I would eat, and then coma and comiera are the 2 subjunctives. And remember, our subjunctive verbs are the trailer in the tow vehicle, trailer hitch, trailer analogy for subjunctive sentences. Traditional subjunctive sentences have 3 parts. The provocador, which is the tow vehicle, the trailer hitch K, and then the trailer. And so these guys right here are the trailers. We have 5 commands. Every verb is going to have 5 commands. In English, there's only 1 command. If I want to tell people to hurry up, to someone I know, hurry up. Someone I don't know, hurry up. To a group of people, hurry up. To ourselves, let's hurry up. It's all hurry up. It doesn't change. There's only 1 command in English. But in Spanish, we know there are 5. The usted command, how do you form it? You take the yo-o form, you change the o to the opposite vowel, which is a, and that gives you the usted command, coma. Add an n to get the group command, coman. Add an mos to get the let's command or the we command, the let's form. Let's eat, comamos. Now I like to drop down to the positive 2 command and then back to the opposite vowel, negative 2 command. How do you do the positive 2 command? It's simply the el, ella form of the present tense. So como, comes, come. That's how you tell a friend to eat. Come, come, eat. And don't eat would be to a friend, no comas. So those are your 5 commands. So we want you to take any verb and run it through the 10 things that you can do to a verb. And then we also want you to be able to put it in the 5 different commands. If you can do that, and you know estar and haber, you're going to be great. Let's take a look here. We told you that estar pairs up with the 1, the ing form. Let's take right here, estando, being. We don't use that. It's just not used, but that's what the ing form is. Estado, we're going to find out that estado is huge. We're going to look at that in a few moments. Estoy, I am. Estuve, I was, for a definite amount of time. Estaba, I was, for an indefinite, incomplete past action. Estaré, I will be. Estaría, I would be. And then, of course, the 2 subjunctives, again, the trailer in the analogy of a provocador, tow vehicle, trailer hitch, and trailer. These are the trailers, esté and estuviera. Let's practice. I'm eating a lot. Estoy comiendo mucho estos últimos días. I'm eating a lot these past few days. If you want to say, I was eating a lot, is it estuve comiendo mucho or estaba comiendo mucho? If you don't specify and you make a general statement, I was eating a lot, that would be estaba comiendo mucho. To use estuve, you would have to say, I was eating a lot for a month. Once you put a month on it, you define it, and it's a completed past action. It's not open-ended. You know for how long it happened. It's over. Then you would say, I was eating a lot for a month. Estuve comiendo mucho por un mes. When you called up, I was eating. Estaba comiendo cuando llamaste. Let's go with estaré. Tonight at 5 o'clock, we will be eating tonight at 5. You've said that in English. We will eat at 5, right? We are going to eat at 5, or we will be eating. They all basically mean the same thing, but just like in English, the words are different. This is how we do it in Spanish. We will be eating, you take the we form. We're making somewhat of an assumption that you can conjugate all these verbs in all 5 conjugations. So the future would be estaré, estarás, estará, estaremos, estarán. If you're weak on any of these, go back to the lessons that we've had prior and study the tenses by themselves. We will be eating at 5. Estaremos comiendo a las 5. You're at the dinner table, you're not eating, and someone says, Pablo, ¿por qué no estás comiendo? Why aren't you eating? And you say, estaría comiendo, pero estoy un poco enfermo. I would be eating, but I'm kind of sick. Get it? I would be eating. Estaría comiendo, pero no me siento bien, but I don't feel well. Esté en estuviera. Let's say you send a son or a daughter off to college and you worry about their nutrition, if they're eating well. And you want to say, we hope that he is eating well. Well, our provocador, our to vehicle would be esperamos que esté comiendo bien. Over here, we were hoping that he was eating well, right? We found out that he's got some nutrition deficiencies. He went to the doctor, they did a blood test, and you found out as parents that he's got some problems, and you say, wow, we were hoping that he was eating well. Our provocador, our to vehicle would be esperábamos que estuviera comiendo. So what do I want you to know? We want you to know our piano keys, 0 through 9. We want you to know that when you take a verb and run it through all its paces and all the different 10 forms, that is what we call our verb piano. The verb piano has 10 keys. You need to know what the numbers are, and you need to know accordingly what they are. Again, infinitive, present participle, ing, past participle, ed, present, preterite, imperfect, future, conditional, present subjunctive, and past subjunctive. We've said this a million times, and this is why you're learning, right? Repetition is the mother of learning. Not so much studying, but repetition. La repetición es la madre de la enseñanza. So, we want you to be able to take any verb and run it through its paces, all 10. We want you to take any verb, throw it on the piano. Pretend this is a piano, turn it horizontally, and here are your 10 keys, right? Okay? We want you to know the forms of estar all the way through. The same thing. Take estar, throw it on the piano, and be able to put estar through the paces in all the 10 forms. We want you to know that estar, the forms of estar, go with comiendo. They pair up. That's how they're used all the time. They call them progressives, right? Something's in progress. That's not really important to know, but if you say like está lloviendo, that's what they call the present progressive. If you want to say estaba lloviendo, they call that the imperfect progressive. Estará lloviendo, the future progressive. That's not important. We just need to keep it simple and know that if you're saying estará, well, that's future. If you're saying lloviendo, that's your ing. And that makes things really simplified, and you become much more effective more quickly without cluttering your brain up with all these grammatical terms. Now, let's take a look at haber, our third big cluster here. Well, actually, our fourth cluster. Haber. Haber is the auxiliary verb. It means have. Like when you say, I haven't eaten, she hadn't studied, we will have finished by 8 o'clock tonight. That's the have. It's not tener. Tener is to have plus a noun, like to have money, to have time, to have friends, to have a job. Tener que plus infinitive is to have to do something, right? This is haber, the auxiliary verb, and guess what? Haber is paired up with number 2. All these forms of haber, right here, all these forms of haber starting with a down, they're going to be paired up with a past participle, a number 2. You see this ube, it's boxed in, and it's got a check mark. We don't use it. So this form, I would have crossed it out, but I would have contaminated my red ink with the blue ink, and then my tip would have been jacked up, and I wouldn't be able to use either pen or the red pen again. So just know that this form is not used. That is, the preterite form of haber is not used with the past participle. Haber, habiendo, don't really use it. Don't worry about it. Habido, you could use it. There have been many accidents. Habido, muchos accidentes. So habido can work well with HA. But let's go here. Había. This is I have, I had, H-A-D, I will have, I would have, and again, haya, hubiera are the two subjunctive trailers. Let's go with a, okay? I have eaten a lot would be he comido mucho. If I want to say we have eaten a lot, we would take the we form, hemos comido mucho. If I want to say they have studied a lot, it would be han, han estudiado mucho. So haber is going to work with the past participle. Let's go with había. I had not eaten a lot. No había comido mucho. I will have eaten a lot. You're going to go to 3 parties, 3 barbecues, 3 days in a row, and by the end of it, you'll say, wow, I will have eaten a lot. We don't use it a lot, but hey, I will have eaten a lot would be habré comido mucho. Let's say there was a smorgasbord and you say, golly, if I had gone would be si yo hubiera ido, idio, si yo hubiera ido, I would have eaten a lot. It would be habría comido mucho. Habría comido mucho. Okay? Let's say someone is trying to lose weight and you say, I hope she hasn't eaten a lot. Espero que no haya comido mucho. I was hoping she hadn't eaten a lot. Esperaba que no hubiera comido mucho. So, what do we want you to know? The verb numbers. We want you to know the concept of the verb piano. We want you to be able to take any verb and just like a dart on a dartboard, throw the dart on the piano, and we want you to be able to take that, every one of the 10 piano keys, we want you to know how to do it for any verb. Run it through its paces. We want you to know that estar is used with the present participle, the ing form. We want you to know that the forms of haber are used with the past participle. And now what's really beautiful is this one over here. We did estar plus verb number 1, ando yendo. That's this, estar plus verb number 1, ando yendo. We just did haber plus verb number 2, hado ido. And now we're going to blend these two together and come up with a 3-word structure. Haber plus estado plus ando yendo, which is verb number 1. We know that ing is always a verb number 1. Haber here, it could be any of these tenses up here, with the exception of ube. With estado, the second part, this is a 3-step process. Estado means been. You see it right here. It never changes. You're going to take whatever form of haber that you want. The second step will be estado, no exceptions. And then the last step would be whatever verb you're talking about in the ing form. Let's take llover, llover. It has been raining a lot. That would be, the it form is ha. Ha estado lloviendo mucho. Do you see how easy that is? How about it had been raining a lot? Había estado lloviendo mucho. It would have been raining a lot. Habría estado lloviendo mucho. It will have been raining a lot, according to the weather projections. Habrá estado lloviendo mucho. Right? 3-step process. These are 2 steps. This is 3-step. Let's go back to our verb comer. How would you say, I have been eating a lot? He estado comiendo mucho. I had been eating a lot. Había estado comiendo mucho. Let's go with habré. I will have been eating a lot by the time I finish this week. Habré estado comiendo mucho. I would have been eating a lot had I gone. Si yo hubiera ido, if I had gone, I would have been eating a lot. Habría estado comiendo mucho. Okay? She doubts that I have been eating a lot. Ella duda que yo haya estado comiendo mucho. They doubted that I had been eating properly. Ellos dudaban que yo hubiera estado comiendo mucho. Isn't that easy? Isn't that great? We already did our 5 commands. And here we know we've got estar plus ing. We know that estar, the forms of estar, we're talking about the bottom 7, right? These forms of estar are going to go with the present participle. We know that haber, the bottom 7 excluding ube, so the bottom 6, they're going to work with the past participle. And we know that when you do haber estado plus ing, it's a 3-verb structure. I have been studying a lot. Let's take estudiar. I have been, he estado, ing, estudiando. He estado estudiando mucho. We've studied this before. We've studied all of this before, but we want to look at it together with a little different lens. Okay, here's another one. It has been snowing a lot. You're going to go to the HA. Ha estado, here it is. Ha estado nevando mucho. Ha estado nevando mucho. Mom has been sleeping a lot. Mamá ha estado durmiendo mucho. We've been running a lot. Hemos estado corriendo mucho. The dog has been barking a lot. El perro ha estado ladrando mucho. The dog, HAD, had been barking a lot. El perro había estado ladrando mucho. It has been raining a lot. Ha estado lloviendo mucho. You have been calling me a lot. Me has, H-A-S, me has estado llamando mucho. Okay? Now, we're going to take a look one of these days soon at a different meaning of hubiera, and it'll be nice. It'll be a good way to look at something new and show you another capability of this word hubiera. Well, I'll tell you what it is right now. Hubiera means should have. So this is the trailer in a subjunctive sentence, but by itself it can be used like with a capital H, and hubiera means I should have. So if you did poorly on a test and you say I should have been studying, hubiera estado estudiando más. Okay? You put on a lot of weight. I should have been eating less. Hubiera estado comiendo menos. We should have been saving money. Hubiéramos, put an MOS and go back 3, put your accent on the E. Hubiéramos estado ahorrando más dinero. We should have been saving more money. So hubiera, by itself, with a capital H, can mean something that you should have, right? I should have gone would just be hubiera ido. Remember, haber connects with the number 2, but haber can connect with estado and a number 1. So if you want to say, I should have studied, it would just simply be hubiera estudiado with a 2, right? Estudiado, hubiera estudiado. I should have been studying would be hubiera estado estudiando. So any verb. Let's take another example verb like to, how about to pay, pagar. Let's say I pay. Let's do pagar. Let's roll it through its paces. Pagar, pagando, paying. Pagado, paid. Pago, I pay. Pagué, G-U-E accent, I paid. Pagaba, I used to pay, or I was paying, or I would pay all the time. Pagaré, I will pay. Pagaría, I would pay. Pague, G-U-E, and pagara. Those are what we do with the verb pagar, running it through its paces. So let's take pagar. If I want to say I have paid, it would be he pagado, right here. Right here, he pagado. It has rained would be ha llovido. It has been raining again, ha estado lloviendo. So it is raining, está lloviendo. It has rained, ha llovido. It has been raining, ha estado lloviendo. Let's take a few more. To win. Let's say we are winning. Estamos ganando. We have won, hemos ganado. We have been winning, hemos estado ganando. How about another one like nevar is to snow. It is snowing. Está nevando. It has snowed. Ha nevado. It has been snowing. Ha estado nevando. And I snuck in here at the bottom, ir plus infinitive. That plays a big role in normal everyday conjugation. We know ir is boy, bas, ba, vamos, ban. We know the imperfect is iba, ibas, iba, íbamos, iban. You just need to know the boy and the iba form essentially. For example, I'm going to eat would be voy a comer. I was going to eat, iba a comer. I'm going to go, voy a ir. I was going to go, iba a ir. So ir plus infinitive is very simple, but it's very, very important in daily conversation. So let's summarize. We call this Verbolandia, Verbland. Again, imagine you go into an amusement park, and it's called Verbolandia. You walk in, and there are 10 types of trees, and you can find multiples of these trees throughout this big park, like the size of a Disney World or a Disneyland, right? They're all over the place. So, and scattered in the park are leaves that have fallen from the trees. This is our new analogy. We're developing it. And you pick up a leaf, and a leaf is going to be one of these 10. One of these 10 things you can do with any verb. And once you take that leaf and you pick it up, magically, it takes your fingerprint, and through biometrics, it knows your name, and it attaches your name to the leaf. And as you're going through the park, if you have a preterite verb, you're going to put it in the tree number 4, truffle of tree number 4, the preterite tree. And these different types of 10 trees will be scattered throughout the park. And then at the end of the day, whether it's an hour, 2 hours, or a full day, a 10-hour trip to Verbolandia Park, at the end of the day, you're going to get your score of how many verbs you were able to identify correctly by putting them in the correct tree, the correct piano key. So just keep that in mind. We're shrinking and shrinking and shrinking, hopefully, the difficulty level of Spanish, and we are increasing and increasing and increasing the understanding level and the skill level, the comfort level with Spanish. I know you're getting better at this all the time because the factors are finite. They're very limited, very limited. So, again, we want you to know, obviously, 0 through 9. We want you to take any verb, throw it on the verb piano, and run it through its 10 paces. Run it into the 10 forms of the verb, starting with the infinitive and ending with the past subjunctive for any verb. And we're going to review the more common verbs upcoming. We want you to know that estar is generally used with the ing, the verb number 1. And you better know all your forms of estar. You better know them. You've got to know them, okay? It's like the left front wheel of a car. You don't have it, you're not going anywhere. Haber, like the right front wheel. You got to have it to go anywhere. Haber, you better know all the forms of haber. And especially the conjugated, the verb tense forms, right? You have to know them. Estar is used on a daily basis with the ing. Haber is used on a daily basis with the hado ido, like you see right here. Haber is used with the hado ido daily. Estar is used with the ando yendo daily. And haber estado with the ando yendo is used daily. So that's it. And of course, your commands. What do we know about commands? For our opposite vowel, they come from the present tense, and even the el-ella form in the present tense serves as the positive to command, with a few exceptions. Remember the irregular positive to commands? As, ten, pon, ben, sal, be, se, di. Those are the irregular, familiar positive to commands. All right, we're going to do this again. This is our first time looking at Verbolandia. We will come back to this wonderful, colorful amusement park very soon. Okay, gracias. Oh, one last thing. Hubiera with a capital H can mean should have, and that's really powerful. Just use it with a to, a past participle. Hubiera with a to, a past participle, like I should not have said anything. Yo no hubiera dicho nada. I should not have gone. Yo no hubiera ido. I should have helped. Hubiera ayudado. I should have put my money in the bank. Hubiera puesto mi dinero en el banco. I should have stayed home. It's reflexive. Me hubiera quedado en la casa. They're fighting all the time. forget that, bad example. Let's say they should have taken the trip. Hubieran hecho el viaje. We make trips in Spanish, we don't take trips. Hacer un viaje is to take a trip. Hubieran hecho el viaje. So hubiera with a capital H, should have. It's beautiful. Okay? All right. That'll do it for now. Hasta la próxima lección. Tengan un gran día. This is Profesor Pablo wishing you all the very best all the time. Thank you.